Excuse me, Harry, that's not your vehicle.
Yes, it is.
Then show proof.
I don't need to prove ownership to you.
We're calling the police.
That's your choice.
A couple approached a parked Lexus, voice sharp with accusation, demanded to know what the driver was doing with that vehicle. The driver, caught off guard, asked for clarification. The accuser pressed on. The vehicle wasn't his, they had watched him back it in, the engine was still running with keys in the fob. They knew who drove cars like that in this neighborhood, and they wanted to know where he had gotten it. The driver remained calm, explaining that the vehicle was his, that he was simply loading groceries, and wished them a good evening. But the accusation persisted. The man wanted the real story. His companion suggested calling the authorities. The driver, maintaining his composure, stated they didn't need his explanation and asked them to step back. Surveillance footage from a suburban grocery store parking lot captured what began as an ordinary Tuesday afternoon and escalated into a confrontation that would be dissected by investigators, replayed by media outlets, and studied as evidence of how quickly assumption becomes accusation. A white couple observed a black man loading bags into a luxury SUV and decided the vehicle couldn't belong to him. The woman dialed 911. Officers arrived. And what unfolded next would expose not just the bias of two patrol officers, but the identity of one of the accusers, a revelation that would ignite a political scandal and force an entire city to reckon with who it had empowered. What none of them knew in that moment was that the man they had surrounded, the man they were preparing to detain, had been transferred into the city just 6 weeks earlier as its newly appointed chief of police. And before the week was over, the officers involved would lose their badges, the couple would face criminal charges, and one of the accusers would be forced from office in disgrace. If you believe accountability matters more than assumptions, hit that subscribe button now. Drop a comment with where you're watching from, and if you think stories like this need to be told, let me know you're standing against injustice by liking this video. Tomorrow's story will show you what happens when power protects the wrong people, and you won't want to miss it. The man's name was Christopher Reed. 44 years old. Sworn in as chief of police less than 2 weeks prior. On this particular afternoon, none of that registered to the people watching him. Reed had finished his shopping just after 3 in the afternoon, the kind of mundane task that punctuated the spaces between command staff meetings and departmental briefings. He pushed a cart across the asphalt lot toward a silver Lexus GX parked 3 rows from the entrance, the vehicle's engine